Hi there, everybody. What a time. So much retrograde in the chart, although it's quite exciting as well because it really gives us a chance to deal with some stuff, get things done, do a lot of planning, and, it can feel as if you're sort of having maybe 2 feet forward and one back, or, one forward and two back. But really, it is a time of great progress because all this retrograde does help us to go within. It does help us to look at things a little more clearly, and it helps us to take a breath. And, particularly with Mercury retrograde, as I always say, life doesn't always wait for a retrograde to come out, planets to come out of retrograde. So you have to sort of keep going. I've had to update my phone. It is not something I would normally do, but, there you go. All right, so let's just have a talk about the retrograde and what it is. All planets will orbit around the sun at different speeds, and sometimes they'll increase speed and decrease speed. And from our perspective here on Earth, it can sort of give the illusion that a planet is going backwards, but it really is only an illusion. It's a bit like, when you're in a train. Of course, I lived in New York for a number of years, so, you're on trains a bit there, or in a car, but, I always feel it's very relevant when you're in a train and the train passes you and it feels like you're actually standing still or even going backwards, and that's sort of the retrograde illusion. Okay, so we've just had Venus came out of retrograde. It was in a retrograde from March the 4th to the 15th. People could have come back into your life in relationships, not necessarily just love relationships. It depends on where those planets were sitting in your solar chart as well as your personal chart. Some of you may have got back together with friends, colleagues, or lovers. It gives you a chance to sort of mend fences and get back together. Others may have closed the door. Okay, so either way is fine. It's whatever suits you in life. That's fine. Mercury retrograde from the 9th to the 9th of April to May the 3rd. With Mercury retrograde, it's always a good time to do some planning and think. It's the thinking planet. You want to be careful of that. You don't overthink, though, and try to, build in your intuition as well. Sort of like look how it feels, then ask yourself, or, look at how it is, rather, then ask yourself, how does it feel? Okay, it feels okay, looks okay, well, it's probably going to be pretty good. Jupiter is also retrograde from February 6th through to June the 9th in the sign of Libra. I don't mind a Jupiter retrograde so much because it doesn't help to sort of balance things out, because sometimes, depending on how a Jupiter is aspected, sometimes it can be a little bit over idealistic. So a retrograde sort of helps to balance out that idealism and realism. So, it makes things more feasible, let's say. Saturn just went in retrograde April the 6th right through to August the 25th, it looks like. I'm having trouble reading my own writing there. Saturn's sort of a big one because it's the planet of karma, responsibility, work ethic, and, it can be sort of a little limiting sometimes and cautious, but what it does do is it helps you get things into perspective, and it helps you deal with things that keep coming up in your life. Okay, and in that sense, can it be a little confronting? Sure, but what comes out of it rather than sidestepping it. And sometimes Saturn can come right up close to your face, okay? And situations from the past and authoritative situations can reappear, and it's great to sort of have a closer look at them, particularly as Pluto is also retrograde the 20th, which I think might be today or tomorrow, sort of lose track of the time, of April through to September the 28th. Now, Pluto is actually in Capricorn, and Saturn rules Capricorn, but it's in the sign before it. So this is sort of like a fabulous time where, you know, Pluto sort of breaks things down. It's called the planet of transformation. So if something really isn't working that well in your life, it can, like, you know, break it down so it can build it up again. So that's a very positive thing. Once again, can it be a little confronting? Sure it can, but really, with all this retrograde going on, past and future, you want to sort of look at the similar stories that are happening in your life, okay? Do you have, like, not, you know, same person, same situation coming up, or maybe a different person, different situation, but it's the same message and theme, and you go, this is sort of looking familiar, then that's like the universe going tap tap, you need to have a look at this. Perhaps you need to change something. So be aware, and it's not always a great time to put things into action when it's a retrograde transit, particularly Mercury, but it's a great time to gain knowledge and to become aware, and that's half the battle, isn't it? You know, if you really can, you know, get that awareness of what's happening in your life, then you can make a conscious decision about how you move forward. So I would keep that in mind. Now, for this particular week, we also have Mercury in a very nice trine with Saturn, so that's going to help to bring things forward that are going to have more substance about them, rather than, you know, we've still got that confusion with Mercury retrograde, but the Saturn of course is retrograde as well, but it does put it into more solid, you know, solidity, for want of a better word, more substance, I think, is probably the best word I can come up with. And then we do have a new moon this week as well, so that's nice, a very nice, light, beautiful energy. And right at the end of the week, Venus is going to move into the next sign, back into Aries, okay? So with Venus in Aries, you've got like passion, love, and romance together. And so you want to be a little bit careful with all this retrograde of what you say and how you say it, because Mercury is there as well. So just once again, think things through, do some planning, think about the end result you want, and move forward in that way, okay? All right, so love and luck to you, and I'll go ahead and do the individual reports now. Thanks for watching.